What up? Welcome back. Separate bedrooms. This week we will be cooking from a phenomenal book that Wifey picked out, the Frankies Spuntino Kitchen Companion and Cooking Manual. Babe, did you have any reason you picked this? I have some thoughts, but you go ahead.
Okay, we were at our favorite restaurant, Lolo.
Yes.
And Lori, the owner, told us she was having an event with the guys from Frankies this weekend. So we were kind of just in like a Frankies mood.
And I think low-key the Franks might be involved in Lolo, like might have helped out or, like might be part of the...
Maybe that's why we love Lolo so much. Because Frankies is one of my favorite spots in New York. The pasta alla limone is like everything to me.
Like you love the pasta limone, I love the cavatelli. We both love like this roast pork that's in here. I will say this book came out, I remember, I'm gonna look here, and it was like, there was this like Peter Meehan era, right? Peter Meehan was like also really good friends with David Chang, and he was the New York Times food writer reviewing, I believe, like 25 and under in the late 2000s. And he was good friends with, 2010, this came out.
Wow.
And this was a peak era of cookbooks, at least for me in my age. I don't know what it was like in the 70s, 80s. I know there were some good cookbooks that I read from that era too, but...
They were wild though. Have you ever read like an American cookbook from the 70s?
Yeah, like The Joy of Cooking.
Gelatinous. Like, is that the 60s more? Like when there was like that like gelatinous, they would call it like salads, and it would be like Jell-O with floating things in there.
Yeah, it's like a Jell-O dessert salad with like cream and foam and shit.
It's so crazy. And they're like, this is healthy. This is salad.
Yeah, super wild. And like, I do love those recipes. Like, I love seeing like an old fucking recipe.
I love looking at them. I've admittedly like never eaten any of that food.
Yeah.
Or been around it.
I've only seen that Jell-O shit in like cafeterias, but like old Americana food looks wild, like honey baked ham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I tend to like it.
I liked honey baked ham.
Yeah, honey baked ham.
I would fuck that up.
It's fire. The first step here. So today we're gonna make the Frankies Spuntino roasted center cut pork loin. It's in the oven right now.
I mean, I wish they could smell it.
We're gonna show you in process, then we're gonna tell you what we did and show you. Thank you, my G. Bang, in process. Roast pork loin. We're all extremely excited. And to accompany it, we're going to do the Frankies Spuntino broccoli rabe recipe. And I have to say, I love broccoli rabe, but their broccoli rabe was always my favorite. And I was like, I just never assumed, or I never thought that there was some special technique to make broccoli rabe with garlic, but there is. You first take a 1/4 cup of olive oil, heat it on low here, give it a minute, then introduce 2 whole cloves of garlic. And now where I used to fuck up, I would just throw in the broccoli rabe, throw in minced garlic, stir fry it around. It's very much like a Chinese stir fry, but this one, they have you sear whole cloves of garlic till they're browned on the edges. Then you turn them over. And they want you to do this for 8 to 10 minutes on low heat here, which we have it. And after that, you add crushed red chilies. I ground up the crushed red chilies myself. There's 2 whole chilies in there. And then fresh broccoli rabe. Salt. And I gotta give them credit for this because a lot of Western cooking, they don't use much white pepper. They call out white pepper in this. These boys know how to cook. This is from the era of like new chefs coming out, late 2000s, early 2010s. The Franks, David Chang, guys like John and Vinny that did Animal. This was a very, very cool era of cooking in America. Wonderful books. And I would say this book goes back to the old style of cookbooks where it's about technique. And my favorite thing about this book is you can see in this recipe, right? They will anticipate issues you can run into. They say some rabe is tender and some is tough with stalks like tree saplings and leaves like sail canvas. If you can only get the latter, add a splash of water in step 3 and let the greens cook covered for a couple extra minutes. repeat until tender. They do little things throughout this. When you see the pork chop recipe, if you don't want to do the whole pork loin, they're like, if you want to make it even further in advance, wrap it tightly in plastic, refrigerate up to 2 days, cut the rack into chops, and then warm them through in butter in a saute pan over medium heat. So they're not the type of chefs doing the book where they're like, you got to do it this way. They really anticipate a lot of the issues you'll run into cooking at home versus cooking in the restaurant, but they teach you the techniques. And I got to say, probably the best Italian-American cookbook I've ever read.
Yeah.
You found like probably 12 recipes in there you liked?
Yeah, everything is good. It's so hard to pick one from there.
The meatballs you like too.
I love the meatballs. I'm super into like all the pastas, but their technique in there is how to make the pastas from scratch. It's not like go buy the cavatelli. It's like make it, which is really cool, which I would like to do one day. I've made pasta like one time in my life and it came out horrible. It was so gummy.
Yeah, making pasta is really hard. I've only done it in a class or with another pro.
Yeah.
And following them. And
yeah.
It's very hard to fuck up then.
I did pandemic over Zoom, big, get all your friends together and there's a chef that we hired and we're going to make pasta vibes. And it was such a disaster.
Pasta party.
I think I was wasted.
Hilarious.
Trying to make this pasta.
It didn't.
But there's also sausage, peppers, and onions in this cookbook, which I want to do. I want to do on a roll.
Oof. Their sausage, peppers, and onions was very good. These dudes' technique is fire.
Yeah.
And then also, this is the era of New York when you kind of moved there, 2011, 2012.
Yeah, for sure.
When you first moved to New York in that time from Boston, what were the things you noticed about dining, restaurant scene, anything that you remember?
Okay, I was 17 or 18 and I was broke. So, I mean, my early, when I first moved there, I definitely wasn't eating at places like Frankies all the time. It was very rare and one-offs. But I just noticed how much was available. You could get anything at any time. You could go down Chinatown, get an amazing meal for nothing. You could get dollar pizza, Joe slices of pizza.
Yeah.
Were everything to me.
Word. So that was your budget era of dining.
Yeah, I didn't start, I remember, I moved to New York and probably for the first 6 months.
So I added crushed red chilies, just saying sorry. Crushed red chilies.
I had, the support of my mom. And then I was I'm going to stay here and not go home for the summer. And I had a boyfriend that everyone hated. And they were cool, well, get a job and support yourself and pay your own way. And I was cool, it's gonna be dollar pizza for me, baby. So it was cute. Up until 2014, 2015. And then I started eating out and having disposable income to do so. But yeah, you probably experienced this. This was you were eating at this time. You were in chef food culture.
Yeah. I was in chef land at this time, but just to also finish your thought, because I think a lot of people lived that era you did. My favorite cheap restaurants in New York at that time in 2010 was Barakat on Houston, the kind of Turkish diner that had kebabs.
Yeah.
Turkish kebab house. I really, really liked Veselka. I was a huge Veselka head.
For sure. Veselka forever.
Yeah.
Just getting soup and pierogies and shit.
Yeah. And you remember Grand Sichuan? On St. Mark's or by the Fenghua, there was a Grand Sichuan.
No, I don't remember that.
That was fire.
I also went to a lot of...
Did you eat at Mahmoud's?
No.
Okay.
No, I ate a lot at Lovely Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scene Thai food.
I had, well, there was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I was this is in my...
Yeah.
I can afford this shit. Let's go. But I also did a lot of promoter dinners. I would be all up in fucking Catch, eating one piece of sushi and then going to One Oak and just sustaining myself for a day off of my spicy tuna hand roll. And I was let's go.
Did you have to wear the t-shirt? Because I remember some of these promoter dinners I got invited to.
What?
They had all the models and girls wear a t-shirt from the club or from the promoter.
No.
It was straight fucking copy.
No, we never wore t-shirts. If somebody had a hat, I remember there would be promoter groups.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember like the names of them anymore. It's been so long, but they would have like, it was the era where girls would be up in the club with like a snapback on backwards.
Yes, the Kirill was here era.
Yeah, and so like you can catch some photos of me with a snapback on backwards with like somebody's like massive watch that I was like, let me have it.
It's cute. I think your mom's screensaver is you. Isn't it you is it with the Hennessy hat or no? That's a different shoot.
Oh my God, I don't even know. But
She has
like
a
we would just be
screensaver.
up in the club. It was like a really wild time. It was before the dawn of Instagram and people like really had fun. Like it was like blurry photos of you going out.
This is a fun thing to talk about. I want to talk about this. It's like
Cute.
Go ahead, babe. I'm gonna make extra so like everybody, your mom has a lot after. I got some after.
Amazing.
But no, it was a time where it was
the
fun to
Hermes
go out.
plate.
Pre-Instagram.
You want to get a shot of that?
I was thinking about this book and I was just like, dude, I have so much to say because I remember when this book came out and it was a really big deal and I read it and I was like, yo, this is almost as good as that dude like Harold Moore on cooking.
Yeah.
Except it was like contained to Italian food.
Yeah.
But the thing for me was like, what was it? Was like, this was the last kind of fun era of culture going out in New York.
It was.
Instagram came in 2012 and it was a wrap. Then we got paid to party.
But it was cool for like a second. Instagram, when it first came out, I will say until like 2014, maybe 2015, like stretching it.
Yeah. Dirty Sprite 2 was the last.
It was cool. Like I liked
Good
it.
time.
Because there was no pressure. It was like I would post pictures of like a fucking cockroach and I would like make a joke about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was just weird and funny and you were trolling and
My Instagram was super stupid.
mine was too. I'd post pictures of me like crawling on the ground in New York. And
Yeah.
be like, it was just like there was no consequences. You could post anything and it was funny and nobody would be like judging you. Be like, why did she post that? What's wrong with her?
But I think around 2016, like it just really peaked in terms of like now everybody is trying to make money on this thing.
Yeah,
And
because people were making money.
yeah.
And it was crazy. Like I remember distinctly there was like this line in the sand of playtime versus capitalism on the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
When people started to curate their IG and like take photos off, that was around the time.
Yeah.
And it was like everyone's Instagram had to look a certain way. And I was like, what? Who
Well, I mean, I
cares?
archived, I think I deleted my like original Instagram because I was like, I just don't want this and like started over. And then I archived a bunch of shit because I was like, this is too naughty now. Like people take this seriously.
Yeah.
Like they'll look at your Instagram and be like, what kind of person is this? And I'm like, this is not indicative of who I am. This is like my diary, bitch.
You could no longer get jobs.
Yeah.
I think that's
like
what
you
happened.
posted a weird bloody photo of you like 2 years ago. I don't think we should hire her. And I was like, okay, cool.
But this was also an exciting time in restaurants. Like, I remember all the buzz from them and Momofuku. And, you know, I had opened Bauhaus Christmas 2009. So this book came out right around the time where, like, Bauhaus was getting a lot of press. And I started to meet chefs.
Yeah.
Because I had never worked in New York restaurants. And I wasn't really friends with that many. But they started to come eat at Bauhaus, and I was like, yo, these dudes are sick. And their restaurant was on Clinton Street.
Yeah.
And right down the street from where Procel used to be at Coat of Arms. And there was a Dominican diner on the corner. It was like a great eating street.
Yeah.
And like, did you ever go to WD-40?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Wiley Dufresne was on Clinton. It was like a really exciting time to cook in the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool.
That was like the peak moment of the Lower East Side before it had that. And not to say that it's like at all not a great place anymore. It just kind of got oversaturated, I think. And I haven't been for a while, so I can't speak on it now.
Yeah.
But like, I would say like 3-4 years ago, it just felt very fratty.
Yeah.
It was like college students took over.
Yeah. And so for, like, I remember the thing that marked it was that Club Libation opened.
Oh my God,
Yo,
yes.
when Libation opened, the Lower East Side
Bro,
was
Libation was wild. I like went there one Sunday. It was like popping on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I went up in there and I was like, what is going on? It was like the worst version of Coyote Ugly. If you could just make Coyote Ugly horrible with like whack bitches. Like there was girls like dancing on the bar, but I was like, oh my God, they were in Chelsea boots. And I was just like, this is fucking insane.
It was like a super mega bridge and tunnel club.
Yeah.
And it was like the whole neighborhood vibe of the LES just died.
I remember with the crepe spot next door.
Yeah.
I'll never
Oh my
forget.
God.
And like I would just watch people like get wasted and stumble into the crepe spot.
Yeah. Like Libation fucking up Ludlow Street was the end.
And the Soho House.
Yeah.
Like
the Soho came out and then that Ludlow condominium went up.
I was all up in that. I was all up in Ludlow House. I'm not gonna front. Like people watching this and be like, she's full of shit because she was all up in there. But it really was like such a horrible.
It was a bad time.
Yeah, and then I think what was it? It wasn't a Cipriani. It was something else. I don't know. Something else opened right on that block.
And I'll tell you, it was interesting around this time too, 2010. There was all these kind of discussions at the community board meetings, and I would walk by. I actually like went to one with Raf, and it was people were discussing the height limits on buildings. And the reason why the East Village, West Village has maintained its character is because of the height limits on buildings. And they raised the height limits on the Lower East Side so that they could build condos like the Ludlow.
Yeah.
And that's when the shit was a wrap.
Well, I remember them doing this in Williamsburg too.
Yup.
Because I moved to Williamsburg in 2013.
Yup.
And then I remember I like went to Europe one summer and then I came back and there was just like a Whole Foods, an Apple store, a Sephora, a T-Mobile. Like I was like, wait, what the fuck? I used to have to go into the city to do any of this and now it's all here.
Yeah.
And then high rises started going up right on the water. And then the Domino Factory building is now, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I just saw that they did an Hermes show during Fashion Week in the Domino Sugar Factory building in Williamsburg. And I was like, wow, this is so crazy to me. I'm not even mad at it, but I was just like, the Williamsburg that I know, Hermes is up in the Domino Sugar Factory building.
It's gotten big weird. Everything's weird. But you know what's funny? The LES is back, but on the other side now because of Dime Square. It's like that Orchard and Canal side, East Broadway, Seward Park, which was like kind of junkie land back then. It wasn't like Skid Row.
No, but it was like shady a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, we would just go smoke whatever we wanted to smoke and then drink Four Locos in Seward Park.
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 bars down there. Now it's like popping.
168 bar.
Yeah.
Fucking fire. And they had that pop-up place, LTO, that like everyone popped up in. It was that was a really fun time to be a chef.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Lower East Side 2009.
Well, guys, Scarr's Pizza is opening up in LA.
Yeah, that's
a big win for us.
Huge win.
I'm excited. I feel like we can have some good pizza.
That is going to be big because there is not a great New York slice here. We have Joe's, which is a serviceable New York slice.
Yeah, I like Joe's.
We have Prime Pizza, which I think is I think Prime Pizza is a good, solid neighborhood New York slice.
I like Prime.
Yeah, and like Prime is basically the child of Best Pizza in Williamsburg.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The homie from Best Pizza helped Jim open Prime, and so it's kind of like an import of Best Pizza, but I would say it's...
We also have the spot in the row.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm like blanking on the name.
Pizzeria Bianco.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy does a kind of his own style. It feels Neapolitan.
It is, but I love it.
Yeah, that dude is fire. And he got the sandwich spot popping now. I really fuck with Chris Bianco.
And Pizza Say.
Yeah.
We haven't been to Pizza Say in forever, but I'm like...
I love Pizza Say.
I would pop out to Pizza Say.
Yeah. I feel LA... So there was an article today, actually, speaking of news, where it was like, this is the golden era of LA pizza. And...
Right now?
Yeah. I kind of hate it when there's a headline like that because I'm like, yo, just everybody calm down. It's like when a white guy gets excited representing an ethnic food. It's like, all right, you're cool, but like, let's contextualize.
Yeah, what do you really know about this?
Yeah. So it's like, it's great that there's a golden era, but let's still remember it's LA. And I will say there are a lot of places to get different styles of incredible pizza.
For sure.
But for me, like I would trade all of them for like Lucia.
Yeah.
Or, you know, oh my God, what's the other one in Carroll Gardens you love? All of a sudden I forget the name. Oh my God. Lucali. Yeah. Lucali, like, or even a Grimaldi. I would kill for Grimaldi's.
It's just a different level of pizza, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, once you had pizza in like Sheepshead Bay or like Brooklyn or some shit, it's just, you're not going to get that in LA. But I do think that there's like such a good variety of pizza. I've never been to that spot. What is it? Sheets or Quarters?
Quarters.
It's good?
Okay. You know, Damien likes to eat Quarters when we play dominoes.
I've never been. Heard it's good.
Yeah.
I've never had the Prince Street out here. I've had it in New York. I personally am just like, this is whatever, so I'm not going to go out of my way.
I'm going to keep it funky about Prince Street and Scarr's. All right? I love Scarr. Scarr, very friendly guy, has a great Air Force One. Everybody loves Scarr. It's location. I'm going to just keep it real funky. It's a great slice.
Yeah.
I will not co-sign Scarr's as the best New York pizza.
Well, no, I don't think anyone
this is like a bad hill to die on because all the homies like it.
Yeah.
And I love Scarr. There's nothing wrong with his pizza.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, if I'm eating a slice, it's probably Lucia.
Yeah.
But you got to go to Sheepshead Bay. Scarr's and Prince Street, the reason why they got the name and why it's popping for the most part. It's
downtown. It's so easy. It's so accessible. It's good enough.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
like,
good.
who wants to go? Like, getting into Carroll Gardens is a pain in the ass. Getting to Sheepshead Bay is a pain in the ass.
Yes.
It's not chill. Like, it's like, I'm going if I'm Ubering. I'm not like, I don't have the patience anymore. I don't live in New York anymore. I don't have that like vigor in me to like take a trip on the train. Like, when I'm in New York now, I'm like, cool. I'm getting in the car. Like, LA has truly taken away my ability to rough it.
Like, I still want like a coal-fired slice.
Yeah, so what's your ideal slice of pizza?
Okay.
Just like run it.
Right now, my favorite slice is Lucia.
Okay.
I really like Lucia in Sheepshead Bay.
And in somebody who's never had Lucia, how would you explain it?
Lucia is a classic Brooklyn slice.
Okay.
And then also the ones, there's two spots in Bensonhurst. They're like initial names. I can't remember all of a sudden. But those two slice spots, do you mind helping me look it up, babe? Bensonhurst Pizza. They'll come up. They're like the two first ones.
Bensonhurst Pizza.
Yeah. Bensonhurst got two of the best slice spots. And then Lucia to me is really the perfect combination now of somebody continuing like their parents' tradition, but then he also has some slices that are like interesting and special that he does on certain days. Like he got a clam pie. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What I look for in a slice is I like Dafara. Like that, you know, that's the tree of pizza that I like. Big, crusty, not necessarily super thin, but thin and definitely in the New York canon.
Yeah.
But I want it crusty. I'm gonna fold it. And I also want to feel like a chew and a pull slightly of dough when I'm biting off that slice. Dafara is a perfect pizza. That's the greatest pizza I ever had.
I mean, I can't disagree. I feel like that's my exact rundown of a perfect slice. I want to fold it. I definitely want there to be a little bit of crunch, but I don't want it to be like burnt.
No.
I actually don't mind a little bit of it being burnt on the bottom. I kind of like that flavor. But it needs to like hold its structural integrity.
Yeah.
A good cheese pull. I feel like I'm always talking about cheese. I like extra cheesy cheese pull. But okay, the spots in Bensonhurst are La Bella, Pizza Den, J&V.
J&B.
J&V.
J&B's fire. And there's one other one. Do you mind going?
Tony, Da Vinci.
Da Vinci and J&B, absolute fucking flames. Raph took me once and we just drove by and just got a slice and ate it in the car. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was next level. But I ride for Lucia now since Dom Dafara passed.
Yeah, that's your like new spot.
Yeah, that's my spot. But like, there's just places, like I said, Lucali, Grimaldi. If I'm in the area, I'm not walking past it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm
you
gonna
have
die.
to pop in, for sure.
You know, for people, a lot of people like Paulie G's too. I think Paulie G's in Greenpoint is good.
I like Polly G's.
Yeah.
For sure. I used to live right by it.
Yeah. I will, and to, no matter what I say, Scarr's is going to be popping. Scarr's got legions of fans, but it's just like, I kind of like when I like when we're honest about who the champ is. I don't like a fake champ.
Well, would you say that in a way, like there's a Manhattan champ and then there's a Brooklyn champ? Like it is boroughs.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, that is a really good point. Sorry, babe, I forgot.
No, you're fine.
Salt. Oh my God. Forgot a little salt. Forgot a little white pepper.
No, it was still really good.
Oh my goodness. I may have put it in there. I think I may have put it in there.
I'll grab a piece from the top.
Great. I'm glad you liked it because this is a really good recipe. But yeah, you're right. I think it's like borough to borough because also Scarr's and Prince Street, they have their challenges working in high rent areas. So like, I will say this, while I'm just talking about the food, what I'm not taking into consideration in this conversation is how hard it is to be successful in Manhattan and like how high the cost is. So like, props to him for doing that. It's a different, it's a different business talent, I would say. It's like people used to, people would come into Bauhaus and be like, I can get this in Chinatown for $2. But the truth is, no one in Chinatown was making Bauhaus at the time. It was really interesting. Like, so there was a couple places in Flushing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't that the thing? Like, there was no one really doing that.
Yeah.
And that's why it caught on and like everyone loved it.
Yeah, it was very, very rare. There was like one place, like Lou's Seafood 88 or 68, that was doing Bauhaus also. So I feel with Scarr's, like, I don't want to be a hater. I just have to say, I don't think it's the best slice. I really am excited for him to come to LA because if he picks up Scarr's off Orchard Street and puts it in LA, on day one immediately, he's the best New York slice in LA. Just on day one. So I'm excited.
100%. And with all that said, I will still fuck up a Domino's pizza. I'm so happy doing so. Like, peak living to me.
This shit's fun though. Like, I'm really enjoying the pod now because it's really like family and food talk because my brain is full of fucking food talk and I fucking just filed all this shit away for years because I was, I think, just like bummed out I wasn't doing the show anymore.
Yeah. Do you ever think about that? Like, if you were to bring back a version of Long's World and you were to like just hit there's spots that you've just been thinking about for years now, not doing it. Do you have like a lineup of places you're just like, I want to go there, I want to eat the food, I want to talk about it, I want to like show this to the world?
I definitely have a lot of spots. For instance, Lolo Wine Bar. We talk about it all the time. I will go on record. I think that is the best restaurant in LA. Don't go. Like, don't go.
Go, but don't go.
Or
we
go.
We really want everyone to go because we want to
Lori
support
to get
them.
Rich.
But also, like, let us have our Friday night 7 p.m. in peace.
Yeah, I will also say what I really love about Lolo is it's a true neighborhood restaurant. Lori's there every night. You know the servers. The servers are super friendly. Like, everyone talks about creating a vibe or a scene restaurant.
Or just like community. Like, they've created community.
Yeah, they truly have done it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is because all these other restaurants that either be interviewing the chefs and owners, they don't feel like community. Like, you go to Horses, it doesn't feel like community. It's a scene restaurant.
No, I feel like I'm auditioning for like fucking LA's hottest, like,
it's a bunch of
LA's
scene
coolest
jerking
people.
each other off.
Like, I'm scared.
Yeah, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it feels like central casting for a reality show on the scene. Lolo is genuinely a neighborhood restaurant. You'll genuinely run into homies and friends and neighbors. And the pace at which Chef Willie is progressing and evolving the menu is
insane.
It's my favorite pace. Like, it's like JK. You know that movie Whiplash, babe? When JK Simmons is like, not my tempo.
Yeah.
I feel like in LA, more than anywhere I've seen, a restaurant gets popular and then the chef goes turbo.
Yeah.
And it's like so many new dishes and so many, it's just like, yo, chill. Like, make sure you keep some of the hits we're coming for. Try things on your Wednesdays and Tuesdays and like incubate your ideas, then release it. Willie always, every season, has like 2, maybe 3 dishes he adds or takes off. but I'm just like so here for his progression because I think the pace is honest. It's not about him trying to win an award or get a fucking medal. It's like he's really doing his thing.
Yeah, it's also really thought out. Like every time I'm there and there is a change on the menu, it feels like it makes sense. It's integrated in the whole menu. Everything works together. You can just go full family style. Like you could just say one of everything and it's going to make sense. It's going to be a great meal.
Yeah.
But yeah, his growth is just crazy.
It's crazy.
From when we started going to now.
Yeah.
The food has just like, it was always great, but it's incredible now. There's dishes that I just didn't even see coming.
Yeah.
Like, damn. We had this like steak with these like, what was it, like roasted red peppers? They were like almost like fermented.
Yeah. He has a ribeye dish there now that is the closest thing I've seen to a Western cook adapting the idea of Hunan chili fish head, right? In Hunan cooking, there is a famous fish head dish that has fermented chilies on it. You know, Contramar also does a fish with like 2 types of chilies on it. Willie is doing a ribeye with a chili and a fermentation on top. But what's ill about him is he's not telling anyone he fermented it and did all this shit. I actually talked to him and I was like, yo, son, this is a fermented pepper. And he's like, yeah, I just didn't want to say it because it's like corny. And like some people don't want a fermented pepper. I'm like, I fuck with you. You're just like chopped chili ribeye, fire dish. You're not listing every fucking ingredient. And if there's 2 chefs I would tell people to watch and pay attention to, go support him and Marco from Open Market. Those are the 2 most interesting chefs to me right now that everybody's not already on. Like Justin's killing it, but everybody knows Justin's killing it.
Yeah.
Like Justin is that dude right now.
Taco Tuesday is blowing up.
Yes.
Anna Jack is, we all know.
Justin
it's blown up.
is
it's
that
like,
dude.
Yeah.
His illustration is in our nursery because he's that dude.
It is in our nursery. It's so cute. It's always my favorite thing down there. It's so cute.
Yeah. And like, I just really, I get excited to go see fucking Willie and Lori at Lolo.
I do too.
And I think that's why you picked this recipe this week.
For sure. We did our first date night last Friday and we went to Lolo.
The best.
It just feels comfortable. It's like when you have a spot, and I think that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of things that in moving to LA from New York, I don't have like my spot anymore. But Lolo really feels like a restaurant that I would go to in New York and like just feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And just go like once or twice a week, pop in, have a glass of wine, have dinner, just hang out, like shoot the shit with Lori.
Yup. And a lot of people last week responded, and I really do like the responses. They were like, yo, you guys got to move to the OC. We got good food here. Move to Alhambra. And I'm like, yo.
Insane food there, for sure.
We love the food out there. And
we drive out there all the time.
Yeah. We love the community out there.
Yeah.
When we're talking about LA, we're kind of talking about like
Hollywood,
Palisades, Silver, like basically everything west of Pasadena. Because once you get to Pasadena, it's cool.
Yeah, we love Pasadena. I feel like we've toyed with the idea of moving there a lot.
Yes. Now, as we talk about this, I'm just letting you know, I'm going to show you the marinade for the roasted pork loin. So I got a whole rack center cut pork loin. I usually like a rack that has the bones sticking out, but at Lazy Acres, they already like cut the bone off. So it's not going to be as pretty as I would want it to be, but it's still delicious and fly. And you should go to the best butcher and get like a pork chop with the bones sticking out. But really, Italian, flat parsley, chopped, thyme, rosemary, and then garlic. With olive oil, that is your recipe. And then you salt white pepper to finish. Super simple cooking. This is why I love the Franks. Their entire cookbook, it's about cooking the shit out of things. They have recipes for cheese broths in here, like little things to add umami. Yeah. And like, this is a cook's book.
For sure.
And we're going to continue to highlight shit like this for you guys that we really fuck with.
Totally. And we'll revisit this book because there's so many things that I called out in there that I was like, I really want to try this.
Yeah. And if you guys got books you like, let us know because we will cook from those books.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We just got the Ina Garten.
Ooh.
Cooking for Jeffrey.
Cute.
Love it.
Cute.
Love them.
I like that.
They're so cute. Do you want to get into some news?
Yo, let's do some news. Yeah, we've been talking a lot of
right.
good food shit.
I'm going to hit you with some sports talk right now.
Oh, please.
So this is kind of funny because it's like Boston, Florida shit.
Yes.
I'm from Boston. He's from Florida. This is not funny at all. I don't know why I just laughed.
Oh, I think I know this. I just saw that.
It's truly
this
like
is funny.
not funny at all.
I like this story.
I'm just like, I'm fucking weird. Okay, Patriots fan dies after getting punched in the face by Dolphin supporter at Gillette Stadium. So I've known this about Boston my whole life. I don't know if I feel like everyone does. Their fans are just super rowdy. Like you can go to any sporting event in Boston and like there's going to be a fight. I don't know anyone who's ever died. Like I've never heard of somebody dying at a game, but this is crazy. Apparently they just like got in a fight. It got heated. This guy just got punched in the face, went down, was unconscious, brought him to the hospital. He did not make it.
Florida 1, Boston 0.
He was like 53, so he was relatively young. Like this man was not an old man by any means. Should be like, and everyone said that he was like, didn't have a hot temper, never really got angry, never got in fights, like totally out of character for him.
That is so Boston, though. You could have like the most racist cop die in Boston, and everyone's, he's a fucking great guy. Like, so he stoned one black guy, but he was a fucking great guy.
Well, that's like everyone everywhere who's white gets that treatment. Like, there's like a school shooter, and they were like, well, he was mentally ill. So, like, you should have some sympathy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay.
I'm glad you have sympathy for this dude. We need balance on the pod.
I don't have sympathy for him. I don't know him. I don't know what went down. All I know is that that's crazy, and I think that everyone should just like realize that when you fuck around, you find out.
You
fuck
seriously.
around, you find out. Like, I run my mouth, but I'm not trying to start a physical altercation in public ever.
Don't want no shit. Don't start. No
I don't want
shit.
the smoke. I don't want to throw hands. Like, I don't want any of it. Because you might end up dead at Gillette Stadium. Knock on wood.
Oh,
That's just crazy.
that is wild. That is wild. I mean, yo, yeah, condolences to his fam. Now that I'm thinking about this
For
outside
sure,
the
condolences.
context,
It's
just
not
like
funny at all. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. And I feel like if
Damn,
I'm being
son.
insensitive, my bad.
No, I think it's still like the headline was like Miami fan.
They did
beats
him
up.
dirty with the headline. Like, they
Yeah.
did the whole thing dirty. Like, they were just like, Miami fan unleashes on Patriots fan at Gillette Stadium. Good night.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Apparently, Jonah from BuzzFeed has a job again because that's like an ill BuzzFeed headline.
I'm reading it on the New York Post.
Oh, wow. New York Post, the original BuzzFeed.
This was written by Yaron Steinbuch. So, that's a call out, babe.
New York
You did
Post,
this man dirty.
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 Yeah, his wife's at home just like, yeah, John will be home in
No,
a
I
few.
think that she was with him at the game.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
She
There's a
witnessed
photo.
him
There's
get
a
smit
photo
up.
of them together at a game.
Now she has to take her kids to the sisters. I'm so sorry.
This is where I
I'm so
stop.
foul.
This is where I
I'm
stop.
so foul.
This is where I stop.
This is where she stops. But I've had it out with Boston fans. I'm a huge
Aren't
Red
you a
Sox
Red Sox fan?
I'm a huge Red Sox fan, but I will tell you, I like quietly am a Red Sox fan now because it was fun.
Why?
When the Red Sox were losers, the Red Sox fans to me, I enjoyed. But then once they won, I was just like, yo, y'all are assholes.
That's how everyone feels about like every team. Because
Yeah.
once someone wins, like they start getting cocky and they're like, "Oh, our team's the best."
Yeah, but if it was the Commanders, I think I would have. I think I would keep it slightly chill.
No, you wouldn't.
You don't think so?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I think I would.
You think
chill.
you would keep it chill if the Commanders won? First
Yo.
of all, we would have to go to Washington or wherever the fuck for like 3 weeks. We'd have to go to the parade. Everyone would be wearing a jersey. You would have a new Washington Commanders tattoo. I would probably wake up with a fucking face tattoo that says like Commanders on me. It would not be chill at all. It would be like the most insane, extravagant event that would have ever happened in
If
your
it's
life.
the Knicks, that will happen. If it's the Commanders, I'm gonna be chill. Cause like
Really?
when I'm winning with the Commanders, I'm quiet. Yo, we're 2-0, quietly 2-0, doing our thing.
Because the season started 5 minutes ago. But if you won the Super Bowl...
2-0. 2-0. We're going to fuck up the Bills this week.
Yeah. If the Commanders won the Super Bowl, I would just like to cut to this when he's painted half gold, half red with like a fucking, he's just naked with body paint on him and like a football uniform. And then he's the one who like gets on the field and streaks at the Super Bowl. Like you would do some crazy shit like that if they won the Super Bowl.
Listen, I don't even know. I know for the Knicks, I would be acting a fucking fool. Because the Commanders are my first love. That's my first team I was die hard for.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm so nervous that I'm just like praying, wishing. And if they do win, I think I will just be emotionally drained. I'll be on the floor ordering so much memorabilia. I would stop collecting sneakers and simply collect world champion Commanders merchandise.
Okay.
And the Knicks were the team that like, the Knicks, yeah, I would say I actually became a diehard Knicks fan in the late 80s because of Patrick Ewing. And like the Knicks is cool because I have more friends to act a fool with. Mm-hmm. And I love this, like I lived in New York much longer in my adult life.
Yeah.
I would absolutely live in New York if the Knicks had a chance to win. Like, if the Knicks made a trade this summer and say we had gotten Paul George and we got rid of Julius Randle, I would fully be campaigning to move us there. I would fully be trying to move.
You would not have to campaign that hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to campaign that hard.
Like, you would just have to say, like, we're moving to New York.
Yeah, let's move to New York. I would fully move there. And, so you guys saw how simple that marinade was. Chop up some flat parsley, pull some rosemary, pull some thyme. This is a type of like delicious, fun, relaxing, meditative cooking you can do for your like partner too, since this is separate bedrooms. It's like, when I pull this fucking pork chop out, it's gonna look like I spent 75 hours and put my foot in that shit. But really, it was an hour this morning, an hour and a half in the oven, light, chilling, very relaxed. Please cook from the Frankies cookbook. But
it's great.
Yeah. That's great news. Sorry, I took us on a detour.
No, while we're on sports talk, I know we spoke about this earlier, and I would just like to hear your thoughts on Coach Prime.
Oh, I love Coach Prime. Everybody is on the Buffs bandwagon right now. Mm-hmm. I think it's fair if you're getting on the Buffs bandwagon this week. I had been on week 1 because I'm the number 1 Cameron fan in the world. Mm-hmm. And like Cameron been on this, and Cameron was on the field for game 2. So that's when I was officially on the Buffs bandwagon. Wolverines first, Buffs second. But dude, Coach Prime is the most interesting coach in fucking college football right now. That dude is going to change college football. This is like NWA in college football right now.
Yeah, he's really heating it up, right?
Yeah.
I liked his birthday post to his son.
It's fire.
It was like, you're my favorite. He was like, you're my favorite. This one's second. This one's third. This one's fourth. Like, catch up.
That was very interesting to me. I like him ranking his sons. Also, my senior thesis in college that I wrote was called Shadows of the Big House, studying like bodies and how people were being used, and none of these kids were being paid for like 100 years playing college football. I really do think that the money they're paying the kids has fundamentally changed the game for the better. I think the second biggest thing that's happened since the NCAA started paying these kids is the arrival of Coach Prime. Mm-hmm. Coming from a historically black college, fostering his kids, building a culture, finding his voice as a coach, and then transferring to a D1, like, big school in Colorado with a lot of history, and not compromising, not kowtowing. He has not changed a thing about himself. And I think Coach Prime is like liberating a lot of coaches of color and enabling them to be themselves. And this has been a racist fucking sport forever. No one believed black people could play quarterback. No one thought black people could be coaches. This is a huge watershed fucking moment. Like, very rarely do I say this. Colleges should be teaching Coach Prime.
Okay, well, moving on from sports, There's a missing F-35 fighter jet in South Carolina. I just was curious, how much do you think one of these jets costs? Like, just like your guess.
My guess for this is $35 million?
No.
How much?
My first thought when I read this, and I was like, I just needed to know. I was like, this has to be a crazy number. How much money do one of these jets cost, and like, how easy is it to lose? One of these jets cost $100 million, and the government just lost it and was like, oopsies.
And that shit is just flying around. What if it just like lands?
Well, I think they found debris in South Carolina, so it did land. They found some debris. It was discovered in Williamsburg County, about 2 hours northeast of the joint base in Charleston, which it took off from. But the guy who was piloting the jet ejected. And he's okay. He was like taken to a hospital and kind of like he recovered. But
sorry.
No, you're fine. The jet was on autopilot because the pilot got out. And they were like, we don't know where it's going. And I'm like, this is the United States. How did you not have tracking on your $100 million F-35 jet?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That's crazy to me. I'm appalled. I'm just like, this is our government. Like, no one has any money. Like, we have endless money for war and jets, but we have no money for like free healthcare.
Everyone's big broke, but this jet is flying around.
Got it. I saw some funny memes though that we can insert. People were searching for. They're like, "Can I resell this on Grailed if I find it? Like, can I put this on Poshmark?"
Because the thing too is we get so much of our news from Vlad and Grand Chat
and X, formerly known as Twitter.
That's kind of how we get our news. He had the best memes about this fucking like missing jet.
Dude, the show was funny. I mean, all of the memes on Grand Wizard are insane.
We will insert these memes.
Yeah. I honestly feel like we can't, like, Grand Wizard's private, and sometimes I'll try to send it to other people that don't follow, and I'm just like,
yeah, we have to screenshot it.
I can't even send it to you. And then, like,
this is art. This man's shit is art.
It should be archived and shown in the Guggenheim in like 20 years.
How? Hold on, bro. How? I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna be butt ass naked so the wind could just be hitting my balls and shit. Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet! Hey, turn your ass off. Turn your ass off. And don't turn it on for a week.
I think Grand Wizard should be in the Smithsonian, and his name's fucked up. But like, this is it seems to be a pro-black account. So like,
Grand Wizard.
Yeah,
I think so.
It feels pro-black to me. So I think
it's just like pro. It's pro like 2000s humor as well.
Yeah,
like it didn't. There was no wokeisms included in this humor. So if you're like sensitive, don't.
The movement has completely missed him, and I kind of love him for it.
Yeah, it's like he lived in a bunker underground and like completely missed Me Too and completely missed like any. Like he still thinks women can't vote. I think. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
He's just horny. He's a little horny.
I think it's funny. I could take a joke. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, in news that affects our daily lives, the WGA is set to resume talks tomorrow. So we're filming this on Tuesday. They're set to resume their talks tomorrow. Hopefully they can come to some sort of resolution. This all happens after Drew Barrymore announced that she was going to go back to work on her talk show without the use of writers who are in the WGA. And if they were going to use writers, they weren't going to be union. They were just going to be writers who weren't a part of the union or no writers. And she experienced some like crazy backlash. Everyone was just calling her a scab and being very hostile towards her. So she got on the internet crying, and she has since taken back her announcement, and she's not doing her talk show anymore.
Drew Barrymore needs a new publicist, because that was one
bad.
of...
That was bad.
That was one of the worst, like, excuses. She just literally just went on and cried. And what's interesting is because I continued to read about this story. Yeah. I was interested in it because I was like, how is she so stupid? Like, you're openly being a scab, going back without your writers.
Yeah.
And, like, this late in the game, too. Like, you know, we're probably 2 months out, 3 months out, something. Like, you've already waited 8 months. And it was very interesting because I can understand Bill Maher. Bill Maher's like, fuck the establishment guy. I'm gonna do my fucking thug pizzle. You know, like, I'm a libertarian. And it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, you've always been that. Drew Barrymore, it's interesting. I was listening to some shows like The Town, and she's being pushed to do this, is what I'm hearing. Because
it feels like there was a team behind her pushing her to do it.
Because basically what's happening is the channels that syndicate like the Drew Barrymore show, these other late night shows, they're putting pressure on these people to do the shows or lose their time slots.
Yeah.
And lose their shows. I do not condone being a scab. I'm just saying I think I can understand logically why Drew Barrymore did it. I think it's a terrible decision, and she's learning why it's a terrible decision. But people need to remember the real bad people here is the AMPTP, the studios, the networks, the channels, continuing not to negotiate in good faith. Don't be an idiot like Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's not a bad person. She's an idiot.
No, I don't think she's a bad person at all. She kept reiterating. She was like, I'm just thinking about everyone who works on this show who isn't a writer. She was like, I'm just thinking about these people's jobs and like their livelihoods and like trying to get everyone back to work so they can make money. So I don't think she's a bad person or she was trying to be a scab. I think she just made a bad decision and was like very misled by whoever is on her team and whoever is running that show.
Man, I fucking hope they need to settle this shit. I'm dipping into my IRA crazy right now.
Yeah.
It's been bonkers.
They really need to settle.
Please fucking settle, yo. Save us all. Yeah, save the town. I like it too because finally there's people being like, where the fuck is Karen Bass? I'm like, that's a good question. Wow. Look at this pork chop. Let's taste this. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is delicious. Mm-hmm. Super tender. Do you eat pork chop a lot?
Not a lot, but I enjoy it. Just not something I like would ever make at home. And honestly, it's not on many menus.
Yeah. This is new for me because I have never roasted like a rack of pork.
Yeah.
I roast like prime rib, pork butt, shoulder. Asian cooking, you don't use the loin much besides stir fry. But
is there a different technique to cooking it?
yeah, we will like cut it into strips and stir fry. And then we will roast more of like the ribs or the pork or the butt or the shoulder, right? But in Italian cooking, they'll do this. This is fire. Like, this may make it to a Friendsgiving menu someday.
Wow.
You know, if 1 year.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
I really like our prime rib, like, because right now we do turkey and prime rib for Friendsgiving.
I love the prime rib.
Right.
Feels like a holiday.
Yeah, prime rib is giving holiday. I mean, anytime you roast a rack, it feels holiday.
Yeah. For sure.
I really also like roasting lamb shoulder.
Your lamb shoulder's crazy.
Thanks.
Out of like all of them, what's your favorite one to make?
I think I get most excited for prime rib. Prime rib's just like that dish I grew up with.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you guys had the beef shop. You know?
Yeah. I like don't get excited for that at all though. No. It's just like fast food. It's not like
Rolling roaster.
Yeah.
Wow, that rabe is good.
The broccoli rabe is amazing. After you put the white pepper, I'd set it off for sure.
This feels like a Szechuan dish. Garlic, the red chilies, the white pepper. I'm just like, this flavor profile, it feels like the way you would stir fry a lot of Szechuan food.
Yeah.
It's really nice. These dudes, this is the best broccoli rabe I've had.
Yeah, it makes me want to go to Frankies. I'm like dying to go.
We're gonna get the food this weekend.
Yeah. So are they cooking at Lolo? Mm-hmm. Or why did I think it had to do with olive oil for some reason?
Oh yeah, they're promoting their new olive oil, so that's why they're doing it.
Okay.
But I feel like unless you got other news you want to talk about, I feel like that's the episode.
That's the episode. This is delicious. Make this 100%. Or if you're in New York, go to Frankie's.
Buy the Frankie's book, cook this dish, go to the restaurant, go Coach Prime, Florida 1, Boston 0.
Damn. Patriots fans are down. Are down bad.
Amazing.